if you want to increase profits, well, you can do one or two things, right? To increase profit, it's real simple, right? You can either decrease your costs or increase your revenue. Now, it's actually not either. You could do both, right? Or you could increase your revenue and increase your costs, but increase your revenue by more, right? So there's lots of ways that you could do it, but this is your basic formula for increasing profit, right? And I have to tell you that in almost all situations, right, I would default to increasing revenue, right? That is my default. Now, I'm not saying never cut costs. Cutting costs has its time and place, right? But you can only cut your costs so far, right? I mean, if you ask everyone in the business to take a 20% pay cut, what do you save off your total expenses? You don't save 20% because wages is not your only cost. You might save 10% off your total costs, right? If you then negotiate with your landlord to get a lower rent and you then buy home brand toilet paper, for the toilets and do the bookkeeping and the cleaning yourself and all of that stuff, how much are you going to save off your total expenses? Maybe 20%, right? Whereas if you can easily double your revenue. It's actually easier to double your revenue than it is to save 20% off your costs, right? So I would go for increasing revenue every day of the week, asterisk, there are some situations where it's good to cut costs. Like if we're in a global pandemic and your business is closing, sure, there is a place for cutting costs, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're not here to talk about surviving through hard times. We're here to talk about how you maximize the profitability of your business. And the way to do that is to have a mentality of how do I maximize revenue without maximizing cost? All right. But having said that, even if your costs are $50 and your revenue is $100, right? Well, if you double your revenue and double your costs, we've also doubled your profit, right? Because at $50 cost and $100 revenue, you got $50 of profit, right? But if you double both of those, now you got $100 of costs and $200 of revenue. Well, now you got $100 of profit, right? So even if you double your revenue, even if doing that causes you to double your costs, you're still ahead, right? So the name of the game is not always decreasing costs. It's decreasing costs as a percentage of revenue.